Yeah, another thing I've noticed with this side of the fandom is that they are really pushing the idea April assaulted Donnie, but don't want to admit that Donnie has also done similar actions. In fact, there seems to be a double standard in this part of the fan base because they are really hard on April but are really downplaying Donnie, which I want to address. Look, I'm only bringing this up because y'all's side of the fan base keeps bringing it up in my comment sections. So without further ado, let's talk about the hypocrisy of Donnie fangirls.
Okay, so ever since I've released my A Foot Too Big review, I have had a new wave of Donnie fangirls enter my channel. Who would have known me reviewing A Foot Too Big would have summoned a wave of Donnie stans coming to fight for their socially awkward messiah. I've read a few debates between these fangirls coming in to defend my harsh critique of Donnie. Okay, fair, but what is the double standards these fans will go to? These fans will claim Bigfoot and April aren't perfect saints, going so far as to say April is constantly essaying Donnie. April is constantly essaying Donnie? April is constantly essaying Donnie? Okay, real talk. This is a serious topic that should be treated with respect and care, and shouldn't be thrown around lightly. So for this section of the video, I'm going to be serious. No jokes till the end. I'm going to be fair with both sides because both candidates are in the wrong here. Okay, so for those who aren't obsessed with my comment sections as I am, you may be wondering, what are these fans talking about? What do they mean when they claim that April is apparently essaying Donnie all the time? With what I've read, they're referring to the times when April hugs Donnie, gives him kisses on the cheeks, and when he gave him that one kiss in A Foot Too Big episode, or even in the Ice Cream Kitty music video. Yeah. Okay, let me pull up a definition of SA to the ones who may not completely understand what that is. SA refers to any form of SV or abuse. It involves physical contact between the perpetrator and the victim or survivor. The act can include non-consensual touchings or other unwanted contact with privates. The act of non-consensual touching. Non-consensual. Okay, I think you get the point. Let me start with Bigfoot since she's easier to talk about. I've gotten some Donnie stans claiming how they hate that Bigfoot was supposed to represent Donnie, but Donnie has never done anything like this to April, which, yes, he did. Bigfoot gives Donnie uncomfortable hugs, like Donnie and Casey do. Bigfoot follows Donnie around, like how Donnie did, but Donnie's actually stalked April, so he's worse. Bigfoot made Donnie uncomfortable, like how Donnie did a few times. Bigfoot also tried to hang out with Donnie in a weird way, like how Donnie did when he made the chart and went to hang out with April. Bigfoot even made Donnie a cringy-ass present that made Donnie run away in horror, which Donnie literally did in the beginning of the episode. Do you see the similarities now? They both had good intentions and didn't mean to make their crushes uncomfortable, but they still did, and we have to suffer and cringe when they do. But for whatever reason, Donnie stans will wave their fist in horror saying Bigfoot was assaulting Donnie the entire episode, but won't admit what Donnie did was assault either. So let me get this straight. Y'all feel bad when Donnie goes through one episode of this treatment, but y'all don't feel any sympathy for April, who went, at this point, 2 full seasons of this. Donnie threw in the towel after maybe a few days with Bigfoot, but April is supposed to put up with both boys for the rest of the show, even after she's been saying no? What the fuck? Now, there is one thing that Bigfoot does to Donnie that Donnie has never done to April, and that's giving him a kiss on the cheek. Alright, what I can agree is Donnie never kissed April first. April is actually the one who gave him multiple cheek kisses first, and then gave him a kiss in this episode. Which, let's talk about April. So a few Donnie stans have been screaming that April is the only one who's been giving Donnie hugs, even going so far as to say Donnie has never in his life ever hugged April first.
Okay, what did I say about group hugs?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so April has given Donnie hugs and cheek kisses before, but in the times she has done it, Donnie is shown to hug her back or consents. Remember, SA is non-consensual. If Donnie didn't want to be hugged or even didn't like the hug, then there would be a case. Same goes with the kisses. But again, Donnie is comfortable with the hugs and especially the kisses to the point where he even gloats to Casey. Now, some have gone so far as to say, well, it doesn't matter because April should have asked him first, so it still counts. So I guess Karai assaulted Splinter in this scene. Mikey assaulted Raph in this scene. And Raph assaulted Mikey in this scene too. But the one scene all Donnie fangirls seem to agree on is that April assaulted Donnie in the end of A Foot Too Big when she gave him a kiss on the lips as this one quote.
She essayed Donnie on the Bigfoot episode because she just grabs him and kisses him and he doesn't even lean in.
Okay, now we may have a case. Like how this comment stated, Donnie didn't lean in for the kiss. In fact, he seemed extremely shocked after the kiss. Unlike the other times where he's happy after getting a pic from April, here he's more confused. So there is a case that it wasn't fully consensual, which means if Donnie wanted to, he could press charges towards April. Also bringing in Bigfoot, Donnie can definitely make a case for Bigfoot as he is definitely not consenting towards any of her kisses or hugs. So there you have it, folks. If Donnie wanted to, he can press charges towards these girls. But so can April. Not Bigfoot, no, fuck her, but April can also press charges towards Donnie. Yeah, remember how I said if Donnie didn't like April's hugs, that could be a considered SA? Well, my dear viewers, April has shown a few times that she doesn't like Donnie's hugs. Yeah, remember this scene?
Okay, what did I say about group hugs?
We have April being uncomfortable with the boys hugging her, even saying,
Okay, what did I say about group hugs?
So this has happened before. And before anyone says, hugging isn't SA, it is.
While hugging is generally seen as a friendly gesture, it is crucial to acknowledge that it can constitute SH if performed without clear consent or against someone's wishes. Unwanted or inappropriate hugging can make individuals feel uncomfortable, violated, or disrespected
against their wishes. So just like how Donnie can charge April for the kiss, April can charge both Donnie and Casey for all the multiple times they hugged her if she wanted to as well. So just like how y'all keep saying, April isn't a perfect saint, Donnie isn't your perfect little angel who respects boundaries either. But I'm not finished with Donnie either, because just like how this comment points out,
if April is going to be charged for SA, then Donnie should be charged for a felony for stalking and a fine for having a picture of April without consent, for equality's sake.
Which means Donnie will have more charges added to him. Yeah, those moments of Donnie stalking April around or him even taking that one picture of her without her consent can result in a felony. This isn't a, dude, you're weird moment. This is, dude, what the fuck? You're going to jail moment. Now, how do Donnie stands try to plead with these accusations? Or more accurately, what excuses do they try to make for Donnie? Donnie is a socially awkward geek who doesn't know better, and this is his first crush. Are you kidding me? This is the double standards that truly baffles me when it comes to Donnie fangirls, which I admit I used to be one of them. They will demonize the shit out of April, which, to be fair, she's also done shitty things in the romance, but will really downplay Donnie's actions because he's socially awkward or a geek. But again, what's really baffling is all the excuses they give to Donnie, you could also apply to April. Oh, Donnie doesn't know what he's doing is wrong. So does April. Donnie is a socially awkward teen who doesn't have many friends. So is April. With what we saw, she only really hanged out with Irma and Casey at her school. Donnie doesn't mean to make April uncomfortable. Neither did April. Donnie is just a teen, so is April. What is your point? Because with what I see, y'all are over-exaggerating the hell out of April, but babying the hell out of Donnie. April is constantly essaying Donnie. If you're going to say this is SA, then you also have to admit this is SA, and that these actions are felonies. Okay, now that we cleared that up, I want to at least be fair. So for the sake of equality, let's head back to the classroom one more time. April, you just saw me put Donnie and Marionette in the corner. Please explain to me why you would kiss Donnie without his permission. But teacher, everyone knows that Donnie likes me. That is no excuse, young lady. Class, repeat after me. Keep your hands to yourself. To the corner with you. Oh, what is wrong with kids these days? I don't get paid enough to deal with this.
Oh my god, are you people serious? This is just for shits and giggles. They're just teenagers. Get over it. Besides, it's not like Donnie wants to hurt April. He has good intentions.
Although I don't agree that we should just sweep this under the rug, especially of how serious this topic is, I at least see your point of view. Again, I know this was all meant to be funny. The writers were trying to make us laugh. These scenes were meant to be funny. Even April kissing Donnie on the lips was supposed to be funny. And again, both teens have good intentions. But there is one more factor I want to point out. One more point I want to make for the remaining people that aren't convinced. The ones who think, oh, this is just a simple crush. There's really no harm since April sort of likes him back. Because there's actually another character in this show that's also obsessed over a girl and ended up hurting her. A character who, just like Donnie, prioritized her over everything else, including family. Someone who was told by others to let her go because she was already in love with someone else. And although she still had feelings for him too, she still chose the other man, driving him into madness. However, for some reason, we're supposed to see this man as a delusional, crazed monster, but have sympathy for Donnie. We're supposed to see this villain as a creep, but Donnie a geek, which is hypocritical, especially since they both have done the same crime. Did you guess the character? It's the goddamn Shredder!
In Season 1, we were told how Shredder and Splinter grew up as brothers, but their love for a woman, Tang Shin, separated them. Then in Season 3, we actually do see how the events played out.
with Saki still trying to win Shen over, even though she was married to Hamato Yoshi and had a daughter with them. So even though Shen was married, Saki still never stopped trying to pursue her, even swooping in when he senses there's a rift in their marriage. It's also noted that apparently Shen did date Oroku Saki before she ended up with Splinter, with this scene.
Shen, take me back. I will help you take care of Miwa. We will go to New York together, the three of us. I am a different man than the one you once knew.
So Shredder's anger towards Splinter makes more sense. His older brother married his ex, unlike Donnie, who just had a typical jealousy towards Casey. That being said, Shredder needs to let this go because even though Shen has already chosen Yoshi, loved Yoshi, and wanted a life with Yoshi, Oroku Saki is still obsessed with her. And that obsession ended up destroying his relationship with Hamato Yoshi. Really think about it. Shredder and Splinter grew up together as brothers ever since they were babies. They were family for years, but Shredder threw that all away because of his obsession over a woman that already chose his brother.
Wait a minute! Shredder went crazy because he found out he was adopted, not because of Shin.
So you're right that Shredder attacked Splinter because he found out about his past. But even before he knew the truth, he was still choosing a woman over his brother. Remember, this all happened before Saki found out he was originally from the Foot Clan. The seeds were still there. They just bloomed when he realized who he really was. And even when he was living in peace with his enemies, they treated him like he was actually family. But they still called him out on his anger. He just never listened. He still allowed all the hate, anger, and obsessive traits to control him, which ultimately led to him accidentally killing Tang Shin. Now let's look at Donnie. Although Donnie does love his brothers, he will still drop everything for April, like in Target April O'Neil. When he got that message from April, he immediately left his brothers to help her out, even though they were in trouble. He flat out abandoned them. Yeah, April needs to be saved, but what about his brothers? Couldn't they have come up with a plan first before Donnie just said,
"See ya, suckers!"
And it's not just in fights. In Within the Woods, when Raph goes missing and the group splits up, Donnie says,
"I'm just freaking because Casey and April went off on their own, alone. What happens when two teenagers who like each other go out into the woods alone?"
His brother is missing, all alone in the woods, possibly dead, and all he's concerned about is Casey and April hooking up. Dude, there is much more important things to worry about! There's also another time when Mikey gets really hurt by snakeweed, and Donnie is much more focused on getting his first text from April than attending to his little brother. Donnie has a habit of prioritizing April over his brothers. He still loves them, but April will always be his main priority when the time comes. He's his mantle, similar to how Shredder saw Tang Shin. Now let's look at the love triangle between him and Casey Jones. So in Season 2, it seems April was much more flirtatious with Casey. She'll cuddle with him, tease him back, and even flirt with him, especially when they're alone together. So how does Donnie react to this? Not fucking well. Donnie is very territorial with April. He doesn't even like it when his own brothers hug April. His brothers, knowing full well they don't see her like that. So what does he do when another guy who does like April steps in? Oh, he gets in between them. He will push them apart, whine when they spend time together or split up together, or will brag to Casey when he gets wins from April. Donnie, this is not a competition. April is not a prize to goddamn win. She's a human being who has every right to choose who she wants to date or if she wants to stay single. Get off your high horse. Honestly, this aspect of Donnie is actually worse than the Shredder. Think about it. Saki doesn't get in Shen's space like how Donnie does. Even in this scene where he shares a moment with her,
Shen isn't uncomfortable like how April is sometimes with Donnie. She feels comfortable around him, and even though Saki wants to win her, he doesn't force her away from Splinter like how Donnie is with Casey and April. Even before his fight with Splinter, he says,
Shen, I ask you one last time. Make the right choice.
I have already made it.
He gave her a choice. Even though he was a bitch about claiming he was the right choice, fucking get over yourself, he still gave her a choice. Shredder doesn't try grabbing her or forcibly separates her from Splinter. He just wants her to choose him and then gets furious when she doesn't. Both guys are clearly in the wrong, but Donnie is much more aggressive about it. He doesn't want there to be a choice. He wants her to choose him and tries to separate her from any competition. So both guys are very obsessed with the girls they love. Both of them are in a love triangle where they see the other as the inferior suitor, and both of them desperately wants the girl to choose them to the point where they are aggressive about it. The only difference? Shredder is villainized for his behavior, while Donnie gets many passes. Shredder is portrayed as an obsessive, delusional monster, while Donnie is portrayed as the nice, socially awkward, geeky guy with quirks. Although Donnie does get called out on his behavior, by the end of the episode, the lesson gets retconned. Stop stalking April, it's creepy.
Actually, thank you for always being there for me, even when I didn't want you to be.
I'll leave you alone because now I got a taste of my own medicine.
Well, actually, I sort of like you too.
You can't force someone to like you. You need to let her go. Actually, fuck that. Never give up hope and you'll get her eventually.
What kind of mixed messages are you trying to teach here? Should Donnie stop or should he keep going? Is this creepy or geeky? Make up your mind. Stick to the lesson and make up your mind. Because you know what this really is? It is creepy. This is not okay behavior. This shouldn't be swept under the rug and this should stop. Donnie has more similarities to the Shredder than Raph does. He prioritizes April over family. He's obsessed with her to the point where it's half his personality. And he's territorial with her. What's worse is that the show never realized this. They never realized they subconsciously made a mini Oroku Saki 2.0 because they intended this to be funny.
I have no doubts that the writers meant this to be a joke. I really doubt a bunch of Nickelodeon writers banded together and did this out of pure malicious intent. But it really didn't age well. And although they didn't mean to make a mini Oroku Saki 2.0, it's still weird how they wrote Shredder's obsession over Tang Shin as evil and creepy, while Donnie's obsession over April is supposed to be for comedy. But Donnie doesn't mean to hurt April. Well, neither did the Shredder, but look what happened. Look, if the villain is going to be called out for this, then so should the hero, especially if it's in the same show. There is a reason why people think Donnie is a creep, and why others are now waking up to realize this shouldn't be glossed over anymore. Although he does get called out, it's more of a small slap on the wrist to end up being retconned by the end. Every time Donnie seems to learn that what he's doing is wrong, either April or one of the gang will still reward him with false hope that he could still get the girl. Which never happens, mind you, because April is still single by the end of the series. What the hell? So what was the point of having all of this then? What was the point of constantly teasing Donnie with the idea April Tello could be canon if they never had an end goal? What was the point of all of this? A lot of people seem to agree that the episode of Foot Too Big could have been the perfect episode for Donnie to finally move on from April. Apparently that was the intent, according to this comment here, where the creator wanted to drop this subplot as he felt like it was going nowhere, but was confused that they kept it in. Yeah, I'm confused too. This would have not only given a foot too big a purpose, but it would have also been important character development for Donnie. So what happened? Why did they decide to keep April Tello a thing for the rest of the show's running time, just for it to ultimately go nowhere? Was there just some hardcore April Teller shipper in the writer's room that decided to keep his ship alive? I know Rob Paulson, the voice actor for Donnie, was the captain of the April Tello ship in conventions, but I really doubt he had any power over the writing. Actually, this comment reminded me of this old YouTube clip where an executive producer was actually uncomfortable with the idea of April and Donnie getting together.
I just don't know, I'm not one to promote interspecies relationships, so we'll see what happens on that one.
What is going on? So just like in the show, it looked like even the writers didn't know if this should be geeky or creepy. It seems like they were also in disagreement if Donnie should even be in a relationship with April. But that begs the question, why set it up? So I know some people have theorized that the writers have made a self-insert of themselves into Donnie because a lot of the original 80 Turtles fans had a crush on April. So that could be a reason why they kept April Tello. But I have another theory. I actually came up with this theory while I was working on my A Foot Too Big video, where I realized a problem that would occur if they actually did commit to Donnie moving on. If Donnie moved on from April, then he would just be a smarter Raph. Think about it. You know how I kept saying over and over in this video that half of Donnie's personality is being a simp? Well, what happens if you take that element away from Donnie? You just have a smarter Raph. Donnie also has a temper, can be sassy, yells at his brothers when he is annoyed, and just like Raph, parallels the Shredder. The only difference is that Donnie is the tech guy of the group. Yeah, remember how I mentioned how previous iterations of Donnie didn't really give him characteristics outside of being smart? I think the writers also realized this. A lot of Donnie's humor comes from him pining after April, getting kissed from April, or getting rejected by April, or even being jealous of someone being around April. If you take that away, then you're either left with geeky rambling like the other iterations had, or you're left with Donnie screaming or getting annoyed, which is usually Raph's territory. My theory is that some writers were aware of this. Donnie simping after April was such a huge element to Donnie's character that getting rid of it would leave the character a bit empty. That being said, I still think they should have committed to Donnie moving on. You can always make up a new quirk for him, or maybe in this case, Donnie's new arc could have been him dealing with letting her go. Imagine if Donnie thought he was ready to let April go just to realize that he wasn't when he sees April and Casey getting together. Casey and April always do get together in the other iterations, so just commit to it. This could be an important arc for Donnie to go through. The hero didn't get the girl this time. Maybe he struggles dealing with it at first. Old habits die hard, but when we get to the Tale of a Yokai episode, Donnie realizes he made the right call. The rest of the series could just be him and April just being goofy buddies together. There could still be some hurt left, but now he knows the dangers of being too obsessed with someone. Both how he made April feel and how he could have ended up. With what the show gave us, really is creepy. Sorry, Donnie fangirls, I just can't gloss over this anymore. It may be intended to be funny, but it just didn't age well with really no payoff. Well, that's the end of this video, and look, if you still like Donnie, that's okay. Again, not here to tell you what you should like and what you should hate. I, for example, am famous for hating the shit out of GT Pan, But I know some people like her, and that's okay. I also like Goku, even though a lot of people claim he's a bad father or too stupid. And although I would disagree, I see where they're coming from. There's no law that says you can only like 100% perfect characters, so I won't force you to hate him. Just don't downplay his actions. There is a reason for Donnie haters, just like April haters. Honestly, watch Mutant Mayhem if you want to see an April Tello done right. Leo is also a socially awkward dork who develops a crush on April, very similar to Donnie, but he's not obsessed with her like how Donnie was. As someone who's sick to death of seeing April being one of the turtles' love interests, I have to admit I thought it was kind of cute how Leo liked her. Again, I'll go over it more in my future April Tello video, but it's time to roll credits. Stay unhinged!
When's the next chapter of Goten Black coming? I need it! I need to know! I can't live without it! I'm gonna keep spamming the comments until it comes out!
Don't do this. Don't be like this guy. No one likes this guy. Yes, Chapter 7 will take time to make, but the good news is that now you can read it on my Patreon. New pages come out every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. It's only $3 a month, or you can sign up for my new $5 a month tier, where you can receive 2 free prints from me every month and get access to deleted scenes from Goten Black. The more you guys sign up, the less hours I have to work, and I can focus on getting Goten Black out quicker. We also have channel memberships on YouTube for $1.99 a month, where you can have access to behind-the-scenes commentary, and we have super things if you want to make a one-time donation, which will also be shout out in our next video. Can't afford that? That's okay, because you can also help by liking and sharing this to everyone you know to help this channel grow. Also, hit that subscribe button to help support the channel. Just 2K more subscribers to our goal of 5K. Thanks guys, and stay unhinged.
Can you have Goten Black meet Azula and